Hey, MMA fans, welcome back to Carlo Prusa MMA. I am Carlo Prusa with former PFL world champion Mr. Raush Manfio following his XFC Grand Prix Detroit 2 fight on Friday. Raush, thank you so much for joining me today. I know you're about to start the whole weight cutting process and dehydrate and do
Yeah,
all that fun stuff, but we're going to cut up a little bit before all that happens. You're only a few days from the contest, 2 days. What is the
yeah.
mindset like right now?
Man, I'm ready to climb everything again. You know, I was in a really good position on PFL last year. I didn't plan at all leaving the show, and all the situation happened to have to fight my friend. And what is the past is the past. And I think now is a good opportunity to show how good I am again. You know, I'm hungry to fight. I'm excited. XFC has been treating me really well. The hotel here is great in Detroit. The waiting cut is doing really good. I feel great with good energy. Don't look like I'm gonna waiting cut. You know, as far I'm laid down on my bed, I can like make shadow box whatever I want. And I have this inside of me right now. God again is giving me opportunity to be a new version of myself, and I'm gonna use it, and I want to show this Friday night.
Now you're taking on Dan Moret, former UFC veteran. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent?
Yeah, super tough guy, you know, striker, southpaw. Uh, I watched their fight. He's tough, man. He's tough, but I think his game style match with me. You know, he's a guy who would always walk forward, and I am a counter attack specialist. So theoretically, this is a really good match, and I'm in really good shape and ready for 3 rounds. Man, I'm gonna give my best to finish this fight in the first round.
You know, you've been at this world of combat sports for quite a while now. I think 2011 was the first time you fought in it. How did you get into this? How did you decide that you wanted to be a professional fighter?
Man, when I started martial arts to losing weight. I was a pretty chubby kid, really fat. Then I fall in love for the sport. When I was 13, the very first time I fought was a Muay Thai fight, amateur Muay Thai fight, in front of a crowd of like 1,500 people, persons. So it was like, wow, I want to do this forever. That's what I want to work with. Then I start to watch the guys fighting in Japan, the former Pride FC, and Minotauro, Anderson, Vanderlei, Shogun, this guy, and I was a huge fan. And my dream was to get into that, make the walkout to the ring like they didn't, like they did. And I want to be a fighter. Since I was 13, I knew what I would do from my life. And professional was just like a consequence. So I moved to my city in Porto Alegre, south of Brazil, to Rio. I was 19 years old, and I started training with Minotauro, Anderson, and then 1 year later I started professionals in 2011, I told right, and the rest is history. So I stick together with the Lions because I want to become a Lion myself.
You know, what is it like to be able to seek the Nogueira brothers, Anderson Silva? What's it like to be able to seek them for advice and train with them and learn this crazy sport with them?
Man, it was amazing. It was a great opportunity, you know, because I always talk like if I want to do this for real, I need to walk together with those who are real one. I don't want to be the best of my city, the best of my state. I want to be the best in the world. The only way to do that is if I walk with the best fighters in the world. So was a really uncomfortable moving for me. I was 19 years old, start to, you know, living alone in another state without know anyone, and training with the guys who beat me every day for real. Many times I returned to my small apartment in favela crying because I didn't match to become a fighter, a professional fighter. But the other day I was there again, and I was there, it wasn't there again, and I will always keep on showing up, showing up, showing up until one day I become a good fighter. I think that's the process, and to talk with these legends, and they could share with me like they every one of them has a similar process. It was tough for everyone. There's no short ways. There are no shortcuts, and that always give me strength to keep it going because I know, man, was it's difficult for me, but one day was difficult for them too, and I didn't quit. And today I know for sure the champion is that one who not quit because adversity came in our lives, but we always have to, put in the scale like I wanted to pay the price or not for whatever, not only to be a fighter. And if you're willing to pay the price, enjoy the process. And I learned to enjoy. And when I look back, I was, man, look, everything I lived. And I truly believe the best is yet to come. And we're going to start this running to the top again this Friday.
You've been in this world for a long time. You've been training with people who've done this when the sport before it was even cool, if you will, when very few people were watching it. When you first started competing, either Muay Thai contests, MMA
Uh,
contests, did you fight for any maybe promotions or any fights where you had unsafe fighting conditions, mystery opponents, bad medicals, anything
oh,
crazy, fighting horror
yeah,
stories?
yeah, totally. When I used to fight amateur Muay Thai, I didn't fight that much. I was only 6 amateur fights. Is that for Muay Thai is nothing. So, but I fought between 13 until 16. Imagine 6 fights. But I was training with the professional ones, and because my goal would to become a professional MMA fighter. So after 2 years training Muay Thai, I thought no. And I have a cousin older than me who told me, man, the money is on this thing and MMA. So forget about a thinking to fight to K1 or only striking. You need to move to MMA. You're strong. You need to start to learn jiu-jitsu, wrestling and boxing because if you want to do this for real, you need to you know training everything. So was difficult at the beginning, but again, it's like if you don't quit, if you really want to do that, you just go and you don't look back.
Your life really changed in 2021, obviously becoming the
Yeah,
PFL champion. And I mean, you
wow,
took out
yeah,
some absolute killers to get there. First one, Anthony Showtime Pettis.
yeah.
One of his first fights of the PFL. Obviously, a guy was a former world champion in the UFC. You're
Yeah.
able to pick up a big victory. What was that moment like for you?
Man, that moment was like I was living a dream. My daddy was on my corner. My coach, is here with me, Luciano, and my friend Leandro. And man, when I beat him, I was like, I beat Anthony Pettis. Jesus, this is so cool. Because man, after the fight, I go after him and I ask to take a picture because I really was a fan. And but was a biggest opportunity in my life until that moment. And it's still my favorite fight, even regardless the final got the $1 million because of who he is. He's a former UFC champion, and after that fight, I changed my mindset forever. I thought, man, doesn't matter. I have two arms, two legs, and doesn't matter who it is. I am good enough to beat anyone if I put the right strategy and if I go serious and I pay the price to be the champion. Then he after the fight, because until you fight someone like him, you don't know how good you are. You need to test yourself for real with a really good opponent. Then you get confident in another level. And after that fight, I remember the fight happened in New Jersey. So my dad, I was like years without seeing him, and PFL paid the tickets for him come to corner me. Then after the fight, we celebrated. We took a shuttle to New York, and it was my first time in New York. My dad never imagined to be there, and I went like Empire State, and I was like, man. This is for real. We are here. Everything is paid. I grab my two checks, and I remember I was scheduled to fight him. Uh, I make wait 2 weeks before to fight Nathan, my friend from the team, and then they cancel the fight and schedule me to fight him. So they pay me for the moment I make the first weight 2 weeks before. Then they pay me again to fight him. Then I won and I advanced to the playoffs. It's just like I was like living in heaven. I was like, this is so good. Finally, I'm living my dreams, and the persons start to put some respect on my name. It's really good when you're being recognized, and it's part of the process, and that part I love it.
Following that victory over Showtime, you took on another very tough guy at Clay Collard. You're able to pick up the victory. Do you feel like you were still riding that momentum and that confidence that you got from beating Pettis and help you in the next fight?
Definitely, definitely. I still that confident. I know for sure my career will be in a different way if they didn't schedule me to fight my last opponent with, like, one of my best friends. So this was like something who bothered me last year because, man, we couldn't perform at all. How you ask us to do that? And it was terrible for me, terrible for him. And but I returned. Okay, let's put it. They release me, and I finally accept. Like, okay, so I need to climb everything again. I don't know if you remember that move of Batman, the second one, where has a girl who need to climb out from the jail. Was like a jail open only in the ceiling, and for those who are brave enough to climb, they would be free. So I'm living that moment right now. I have nothing to lose. I need to go there and strike hard and do my best because, like I told you, the best is yet to come. I refuse to quit. I refuse to be sad or compare myself to anyone else. I'm living my journey, and I'm really really confident. I'm training like if I would fight Islam Makhachev Saturday. So I train for Dan Moret like if I have to fight Makhachev. So I give my best.
Speaking of Islam, do you think your teammate Dustin Poirier has he got it?
Man, I believe Poirier is gonna surprise the world because the main I spoke with him in the zone like when it was yesterday I spoke with him in the zone, and I had a pleasure to talk with him, and as a train partner and also as a fan. And I told, man, what are you gonna do after the fight? And he told, doesn't matter what, I'm going to retire. I already spoke to my family, so this is my last dance. So now I was talking to him, and as a fan, and asking some questions like from his beginning, how he felt, and this is so good because now his journey, doesn't matter what, has an end of to being a part of a fighter. He gonna live for his family, has a lot of money and this, but as a man, you can see like how much I still need to grow because I could see on him a maturity level. I still need to conquer. I'm not that mature yet, and different than him, my career, I will not retire after this fight, doesn't matter what. So I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and I wanna show that for everyone. Friday, everything's gonna get better again, and I wanna make many more fights. I'm 17 and 5. I wanna, finish my career at least more 13 fights, really good ones, and that's my goal.
No, so you train with some of the best fighters in the world over at
Yeah,
American Top Team. I mean, you look at that, you have Amanda Nunes, Junior Dos Santos, Jorge
yeah,
Masvidal, Dustin Poirier. I mean, we could do the whole show just talking about that.
yeah.
How did you make your way to Coconut Creek, and how do you enjoy training with those killers?
Yeah, back in December 2015, I was asking, I am a believer, so everything what I'm doing is try to honor God and put God first. So you're gonna see me talking about Jesus in every part of my life. And so I was asking God, I was asking God to open a door for me in a place because Brazil was going through a huge crisis, financial crisis, and I was terrible to live over there. I was not able to, only training as a professional, and I need to choose, or I'm gonna continue the career, or I'm gonna to stop. But if I continue, I need to move somewhere else where I have good conditions of training, I can work and make some money. Then I was praying, God, please open some door. And then we know a guy who know Conan from American Top Team was the head coach, and then we get in touch. He accept me, and then I start to live in the fighters' house on American Top Team, Coconut Creek. Then after 1 year, my wife came from Brazil, and we make family here in America. Now I have two little beautiful daughters, and my gringas, and we made our life here. So now I am a resident, and that was the way I bring to America. So I came here because I was like, or I go to another level, or I quit, because I was not able anymore to pay the bills in Brazil.
House, in my opinion, you're one of the best fighters that are not in the UFC and the MMA landscape. Um,
Thank you very much.
this next path, you're saying the best is yet to come. Is that essentially you trying to get up to the big show?
Yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. Man, my goal uh, is to go to UFC. When I signed with PFL, I was totally concentrated on PFL. And for to be honestly, I never thought I would leave PFL in the way I live. And I thought like, no, I can stay in PFL forever. It's a great show. They pay good, and I every year I have the opportunity to make another million. And even in UFC, how many fights you need to make a million? No? Is this could take 2 years, or if you are like a phenom like Alex Pereira, you took like just 18 months. But the reality is you need to do everything right, the highest level. Then when they released me, my dream to become a UFC fighter, born again, because like I was God, you make me a strong man. You gave me healthy, really good persons around me who support me, and may your will be done. But I really want to go to UFC right now. I still have my room like my goals for the next steps, my dreams, and one is over there like UFC contract with a little hand in a pen, the picture. So when I wake up, I see that. And this fight, I think, is the passport for maybe go straight to UFC because I have a good record and I make a really good performance over PFL. Or maybe I need to make another fight. I don't know. But the dream is live in my heart and to become a UFC fighter for sure.
You know, you're one of the few fighters that, while you haven't fought in the UFC yet, you have already established a legacy. Obviously, winning that 2021 PFL title, that's never going to go away. After that contest, after winning that, did you feel like your life changed?
Of course. Especially like, man, I live so many dreams. You have your dreams. Everybody has the dreams. But 2021, I started the year with $30,000 in debt, and I finished the year with $1,000,000 50 in my account. So I could buy the car I always dreamed. I took my family to Disney, I think 9 times. I don't want to go Disney anymore. And I saw in my wife eyes like the pleasure to live the American dream. And my life changed totally after that. They recognize, but we bought a house. I live in the house, not a fancy house, but it's my house in front of a huge lake in Florida. Beautiful backyard, like, and I was like, God, only you is able to do that. Like, allow me to talk who you are in everyone life to and help me in my career in this process again. because I want to live in more. I want to be able to, help persons to achieve their dreams too. And talk about Jesus and talk about my faith, my journey, and I use all this kind of to be a fighter because I know this is gonna be an end. I'm gonna be young. Maybe I fight. I want to personally fight more 5 or 6 years, like 37, 38. So imagine you finish your career with 37, 38. You're still a young man, and I want to use all this experience, all this knowledge, in the way I'm doing to help persons to change people's life. That's my goal.
How's this XFC promotion that you're fighting on had new ownership last year. It's doing some really big things, some really big shows. When you look at the show that you're on Friday night, I think 6 former UFC guys on
Yeah, I
the
saw that.
show. I mean, it's apt for a regional promotion. It's kind of crazy how stacked this thing is.
Yeah.
Does it excite you to be able to fight in a promotion with a bunch of other guys who have been where you want to go in the UFC?
Yes, I'm excited about it because man, it's like I told, doesn't matter what a show you're gonna fight. If they treat you good, like they bought me a straight flight from the Fort Lauderdale to here, was able so save me energy. But the hotel is super nice, and so has a tub here in the room. So I don't need to go out to make the waiting cut. Super comfortable here. So that is the most important part. They talk like they really straight with my manager about what they cannot do, what they can. I think they have everything to be one of the great shows in America. If they wanted to climb to another level, they are going the right decision, the right way.
You're such an all-around fighter. I mean, the striking is on point, the jiu-jitsu's on point. In this day and age, do you feel like if you want to get where you want to go and you want to go to the UFC and you want to fight for a strap, you have to be year-round and ready to go 24/7 whenever they call?
Yes, definitely. My goal is this Friday, finish this guy fast in the first round, don't get hurt, and then I'm gonna talk Brian, my manager, call Sanchel and show him my performance, and if he's someone 170 or 155, pull it out. I wanna fight. I still wanna fight in June. And remember my words. I'm gonna fight in June, and I'm gonna win the bonus of performance on the UFC. That's my goal. So after this fight, I'm gonna take a couple days off, days, not weeks, days off. Be healthy, treat my body because I want to be ready for the call, and I accept 170 for sure, no problem at all. And we go strong for the next match.
So many people watch mixed martial arts in this day and age. It is one of the biggest spectacles in the world, but very few people, I think, really truly know what is it like to be a fighter. And furthermore, before all the PFL, I'm sure there was a lot of sacrifices that you had to
Yeah,
go through. The early promotions, they don't pay much money.
no,
Some people have to work jobs, they have kids,
yeah.
they stay up late at night training, have to get up early, work 8 hours. How did you get through it? How did you get through all the sacrifices?
Man, before PFL, I took me 3 years without no fight. 9 fights got canceled. I really thought God didn't want this for me, and I was like, okay, but God, if you don't want this for my life, please remove this fire from my heart because I don't want to suffer anymore. Because I saw my training partners being successful, and I envy them, and I don't want to envy them. If you want something else for my life, please took all the desire I have to being a fighter, took away, but the fire never extinguished, just got bigger. And when they give me the opportunity, I was ready and I won the tournament. So man, I clean office, I give private classes, I did barbecues, I work in more things I can. Security and clubs at night. That's what I want. One of the most. I work in a hospital like as a handyman, working. Fixing painting, fixing walls, whatever, cleaning, moving stuff, just to keeping my dream alive. And okay, when they give me the opportunity, I'm gonna give my best because you need to look inside yourself and see, man, if I don't try this now, I can't try this again. And when I'm 40 years old, But I can be a physician at 40 years old. It's just a matter of study. But an athlete, you just can be at your prime at your body. So I decide to live and enjoy. Like I do not control what gonna happen Friday, but I control how much I can give of myself in the fight. And if I threw 100% what I have, probably I'm gonna have the victory. But this not. But I can control that. But how much I deliver from it, I can't. So my life become more lighter. But of course, on the other hand, like these 3 years, I didn't fight. My two daughters born make me another level man, like emotionally strong. Because man, doesn't matter what. I need to training. I need to working because the goal is provide to my family. I can't let my kids, let my kids down for 10 minutes. They are my goal. And my first goal after become a fighter, after become a father, is provide for your family. So I learned a way to how to divide training, working, family, and I was kind of almost quitting before PFL. That was the truth. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a coach, maybe. I'm gonna. So in that moment, I step in PFL. So God knows our limit. Like because I make a prayer and this prayer, when I write it on my book, it's gonna be like maybe the title. And I told God like I gonna love you doesn't matter what. But if you don't want this from me, took this will from my heart. Now, please, I don't wanna suffer anymore. I everything I had, I give it to you. But I don't wanna suffer. And last thing was the next week, Brian called me and told me we signed with PFL. And then I lived the best year of my life, uh, I started living the dream, the everything. So, and it's a really good start for a movie, like a Brazilian underdog. Every fight I was the underdog, and I could help so many persons in Brazil after I won the prize, my family, and man, I'm truly happy. I'm truly happy and grateful to all I'm living with.
Now, when you worked in the nightclub as a security, did you see any crazy
Uh-huh.
fights doing that?
I mean, all the secure guards over there was professional fighters. So we take care of each other, you know. It was I never had to punch anyone. We just you work with the secure when I have a good team. It's easy. And I'm not a big guy, so but I work with a huge guy, the heavyweights, and they just put the guy out, and the cops was already ready to put someone in jail if they want to. It was not that difficult.
All right, last question for you, Hausch. In a perfect world, what happens when you take on Dan Moret Friday in Detroit?
Man, Friday with a head kick, first round, and finish knockout, perfect.
Well, Hausch, man, I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you so much. Apologize again and
Thank you,
making you do
brother.
this the day of the Wake Up, but
I
thank you, my man. Good luck to you.
thank you. God bless you. Have a good day.